In the summer of 1980, the world watched the Olympics unfold against a backdrop of politics, Cold War tensions, and national pride. Among all the races and events, one fact quietly stood out. It was the last time a white athlete won the 100-meter dash at the Games. Since then, sprinters from Africa and the African diaspora have dominated the track. Across basketball courts, football fields, and marathons, black athletes often rise to the top. But what does this dominance really mean? Is it a matter of biology, culture, opportunity, or a mix of all three? This is more than just a question about sport. It's a window into how history, environment, and human potential intersect. And it's a story that spans continents, generations, and disciplines. Now we'll investigate the facts, explore the cultural and scientific explanations, and uncover why certain groups seem to excel in particular arenas, all while keeping the focus on understanding, not judgment. Numbers don't tell the whole story, but they do reveal patterns. Step onto any basketball court in the United States, and the composition is striking. Nearly 3 out of every 4 NBA players are black. In the NFL, the picture is similar. Roughly 2/3 of athletes are black. Yet even here there are nuances. Cornerbacks and running backs are overwhelmingly black, while positions like quarterback and kicker have historically been dominated by white players, though that is slowly changing. Move to the marathon and a different story emerges. For decades, runners from Kenya and Ethiopia have dominated long-distance events. It's not just occasional victories, it's decades of consistent performance. In the Boston Marathon alone, East African men have claimed the title almost every year for the past 30-plus years. The explanation isn't simple, but the dominance is undeniable. Contrast that with swimming. At the 2016 Rio Olympics, the vast majority of finalists in sprint events were white athletes, highlighting that the patterns we see in one sport don't automatically apply to all. Tennis, golf, field hockey, archery, and figure skating similarly reflect underrepresentation of black athletes in elite competition. In U.S. figure skating, for example, over 70% of participants are white, while black athletes make up only a small fraction. And yet, dominance isn't solely determined by race or genetics. It's also a matter of culture and access. Table tennis in Asia, for example, has been dominated by Chinese, Korean, and Japanese athletes for generations, largely because the sport is ingrained culturally and heavily supported from youth programs onward. Meanwhile, women's gymnastics was historically dominated by Eastern European athletes, but in recent years, trailblazers like Simone Biles have shifted demographics, inspiring a new generation of gymnasts worldwide. Even within a single sport, different roles reveal fascinating contrasts. In football, speed positions such as running back or wide receiver often feature athletes of West African descent, while positions that emphasize strategy and tactical leadership, like quarterback, have historically leaned toward white athletes. These patterns suggest that excellence is not just about raw talent or physical attributes. It is position-specific, context-dependent, and shaped by opportunity. The takeaway from these numbers is clear. Performance patterns exist, but they are far from uniform. Different sports, different positions, and different countries show unique clusters of excellence. Numbers provide clues, but to understand the why, we need to look beyond the statistics, at history, culture, access, and opportunity. Numbers tell a story, but culture writes the narrative. To understand why certain groups excel in specific sports, we have to look at the worlds in which athletes grow up, the opportunities they are given, and the role models they can see. Consider the history of baseball in the United States. In the 1940s, talented black players were confined to segregated leagues. Their skill was hidden, unrecognized, and untapped at the national level. When integration finally arrived, it revealed an extraordinary depth of talent, transforming the sport almost overnight. Opportunity, it seems, was the key, and talent alone could not shine without it. Accessibility is another critical factor. Some sports are easy to pick up, cheap to play, and accessible to many, while others demand expensive equipment, large fields, or specialized facilities. Basketball, for example, thrives in urban neighborhoods because all you need is a hoop and a ball. Kids can practice endlessly, shooting in crowded streets or on community courts. Football requires only a ball and space. In contrast, golf, ice hockey, and skiing require equipment, lessons, and facilities that are often out of reach for lower-income communities. Economic incentives also shape participation. In neighborhoods where poverty is common, sports are not merely hobbies. They can be pathways to opportunity and stability. A basketball or football scholarship may be a ticket to education, while a professional contract can provide security for an entire family. Communities rally behind young athletes, seeing their success as a source of pride and hope. Role models amplify this effect. When young people see someone who looks like them excelling, it creates a powerful feedback loop. Simone Biles, for instance, not only broke records but also inspired a surge of black girls into gymnastics, a sport previously dominated by Eastern European athletes. Tiger Woods' rise in golf briefly inspired increased minority participation in the sport, though financial and infrastructure barriers limited long-term impact. Geography and local culture matter too. In East Africa, long-distance running is woven into daily life. Children often run to school, train on hills, and live in high-altitude environments, building endurance naturally from a young age. In Norway, skiing is a family activity. Kids grow up cross-country skiing as part of daily life, creating generations of elite winter athletes. The culture itself nurtures excellence. Sports are not just games, they are cultural institutions. In some communities, particular sports are revered, taught early, and practiced relentlessly. This cultural embedding fosters skill development, creates local heroes, and reinforces participation across generations. Where culture, access, and opportunity converge, talent finds its stage, and champions emerge. If culture and opportunity explain who gets the chance to excel, genetics and physiology may help explain who has the physical tools to succeed. But before jumping to conclusions, it's crucial to recognize one truth. There is more genetic variation within a population than between populations. Biology alone doesn't determine greatness, but it can provide certain advantages in specific contexts. Take sprinting. Many elite sprinters of West African descent have a higher proportion of fast-twitch muscle fibers, which contract rapidly and powerfully, perfect for explosive bursts of speed. These fibers tire more quickly, which is why they are ideal for short-distance events like the 100 meters, but less suited for long-distance endurance. Now, contrast that with East African long-distance runners. Athletes from Kenya and Ethiopia often possess slim bodies, long legs, and light frames, coupled with high-altitude living from childhood. This combination enhances running efficiency, oxygen utilization, and stamina, traits crucial for marathons and distance events. It's not magic, it's a biological advantage shaped by evolution and environment. Body mechanics also play a role. Some researchers suggest that minor differences in limb length, stride efficiency, or center of mass can influence performance. For sprinters, a slightly higher center of mass can help propel forward between strides. For distance runners, a slim build reduces energy expenditure over long periods. But biology is never simple. A body built for sprinting is rarely optimized for a marathon. Muscles, bone structure, and cardiovascular capacity interact in ways that favor specific sports over others. Genetics provides potential, but it does not guarantee success. Training, diet, recovery, and mental focus are equally crucial. Then there's epigenetics, how genes express themselves based on environmental influences. Two athletes with similar genetic potential can have wildly different outcomes depending on nutrition, coaching, sleep, and lifestyle. In other words, genes set the stage, but the environment directs the performance. Finally, it's worth noting that research in this area is ongoing and sometimes controversial. Studies occasionally propose links between ancestry and athletic traits, but these theories are debated and not absolute. The human body is a spectrum of abilities shaped by both inherited traits and lived experience. The key takeaway? Genetics can provide tools, but opportunity, training, and culture determine how those tools are used. Athletic excellence emerges where biology meets environment, preparation, and determination. Even the most gifted body can only reach its potential when paired with the right environment and mindset. Genetics may set the parameters, but daily life, habits, and mental resilience often determine whether an athlete becomes good, great, or legendary. Consider East African distance runners. Many grow up in rural areas where running is part of daily life, to school, to markets, across hills and valleys. By the time they reach formal training, their bodies have already developed extraordinary endurance, balance, and efficiency. Their environment is a natural gym, conditioning them from childhood in ways that formal training alone rarely replicates. In the United States, urban youth often find a different path. Basketball and football dominate city neighborhoods because they are accessible, require minimal equipment, and allow kids to compete daily. Courts and fields become arenas for skill development, social connection, and practice under pressure. Constant repetition, early exposure, and supportive peer networks create a foundation for elite performance. Motivation and mindset are just as critical. Seeing someone from your community succeed, someone who looks like you, comes from similar circumstances, creates belief. Simone Biles didn't just win medals. She redefined what young gymnasts could imagine for themselves. Tiger Woods, in his rise, inspired countless minority youth to explore golf. Role models provide proof that achievement is possible, fueling ambition and persistence. Psychological factors also shape performance. Mental toughness, focus under pressure, and resilience after setbacks can distinguish elite athletes from their peers. The ability to handle high-stakes competition is often as important as speed, strength, or agility. Training the mind becomes as crucial as training the body. Finally, lifestyle and support systems matter. Nutrition, sleep, coaching quality, and recovery practices can either unlock or limit potential. Athletes in environments with consistent access to these resources gain an edge, while those without may never reach their full capacity, even with natural talent. Excellence is not born, it is forged. Genetics, environment, opportunity, and mindset converge. Champions emerge where preparation meets potential, persistence meets practice, and belief meets skill. Athletic excellence is not confined to one race, one country, or one culture. Look beyond a single sport or nation, and patterns emerge that reveal the powerful influence of environment, culture, and opportunity, not just biology. Take table tennis. Since the 1950s, China has dominated the sport at the world level. It isn't due to genetics, it's a product of cultural prioritization. Children are introduced to the sport early, schools emphasize technique, and national programs nurture talent systematically. Young players grow up immersed in a culture where table tennis is not just a game, but a path to national pride and personal success. Winter sports tell a similar story. Cross-country skiing and speed skating are dominated by Scandinavian countries like Norway and Sweden. Snow is abundant, and from the earliest age, children ski with their families. Elite facilities, community support, and national programs create an environment where excellence is nurtured naturally. Wealth and infrastructure also play a role. Skiing is expensive, and without access to mountains, lessons, and equipment, talent cannot flourish. Soccer, on the other hand, is a global phenomenon with strong cultural roots in Latin America, Europe, and parts of Africa. In countries like Brazil and Argentina, the sport is a way of life. Children grow up playing in streets, schools, and fields. By adulthood, their skills have been honed through years of informal and formal practice. Cultural emphasis, community engagement, and social recognition shape the best players. Even in sports traditionally dominated by certain demographics, barriers can be broken. Simone Biles redefined gymnastics, and athletes like Naomi Osaka and Lee Na changed tennis demographics in ways that challenged previous norms. Opportunity, exposure, and societal support can shift patterns over time. The lesson is clear. Sports excellence is a global interplay of culture, environment, and dedication. Biology may provide certain advantages, but culture shapes how those advantages manifest, determines which skills are valued, and decides who gets to compete at the highest levels. Across the globe, champions emerge where talent meets preparation, opportunity, and support. The patterns we see in one sport or country are mirrored elsewhere, showing us that environment and culture are as decisive as genetics in shaping athletic success. So, What can we truly say about athletic excellence and racial patterns in sports? The answer is both simple and complicated. There is no single factor that determines success. Genetics may provide physical advantages, culture shapes opportunity and interest, and mindset and environment turn potential into performance. Black athletes dominate certain sports like sprinting, basketball, and football, but they are underrepresented in others like swimming, figure skating, golf, and tennis. East African runners excel in long-distance events, yet athletes from Scandinavia dominate skiing. Asian athletes dominate table tennis, while Latin American countries produce world-class soccer players. These patterns reflect the interplay of biology, culture, access, and history, not a rigid hierarchy of ability. Individual stories remind us that exceptions are everywhere. Simone Biles shattered stereotypes in gymnastics. Tiger Woods transformed golf. Mo Farah and Eliud Kipchoge rewrote what's possible in long-distance running. Excellence is not predetermined by race. It is crafted by opportunity, dedication, and resilience. The takeaway is both inspiring and humbling. Athletic achievement is a human story, one that transcends genetics and nationality. It teaches us about the importance of access, the power of role models, and the impact of culture and environment on human potential. It shows that greatness emerges when preparation meets talent, when persistence meets support, and when opportunity meets vision. Sports are messy, beautiful, and unpredictable. They are a mirror of society, revealing the ways in which culture, history, and biology intersect. And while we may see patterns, we must never mistake them for destiny. Champions are made, not born, in the spaces where potential meets opportunity and where belief meets hard work. The question isn't just why certain groups excel, it's how all communities can create the conditions for their own champions. Because talent exists everywhere. Opportunity does not. And when opportunity meets talent, the results can be extraordinary.